Hey everyone, I'm Tom. This is Joy.
Hello.
And welcome to today's episode of the EV Show by Ludicrous Feed. Yes, very special episode. We've got Joy on tonight because we are going to be doing a Tesla FSD FAQ. So it is going to be partially Tesla heavy tonight, given what happened over the weekend. We were fortunate enough to test Tesla FSD on Sydney roads. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd of September 2025. First Wednesday in September. So happy spring, if you count officially the dates.
As opposed to the 21st when, like everyone else in the world, I think, does it except for us.
Yep, have to speak into the mic. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's all right. I've got one mic to share. So welcome to the EV show once again. It's going to be a huge show. Lots to chat about, not just Tesla FSD. We've got also the month of August 2025 sales data for BEV as well. And for that, of course, we welcome the one and only Riz Akhtar from Carloop. Hello, Riz. How are you?
Hey, Tom and Joy. Hey, everyone. Yeah, going well from a different location. Apologies for a lack of kit that I'm carrying. You know what it's like when you go from one Bonza lounge to another lounge. You can't always carry everything with you. So good to be on. And I think we've got some pretty exciting stuff to talk about.
Oh, so much to chat about, Riz. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We've got a special event that Riz, Joy, and myself are going to tomorrow. So we probably can't disclose that just yet, but it should be a good event tomorrow in Sydney. So that's all I can say. It's in Sydney. All right. So yes, let's just thank our channel sponsors before we kick off for the evening. So thank you to Hankook Driving Emotion, and thank you also to Carloop. Thank you to Riz and his team for empowering Australia's EV revolution with his data. Thank you very much. Let's say hello to some of our regular members and our new member, Oz Tesla Owners. Thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you, Hal, for joining us. Thank you, Andrew from Western Australia. Thank you, Scotty. When are you buying hardware for Model Y? Well, we can't give away secrets on this channel too much, so stay tuned. Thank you, Jim Hook, who's been commenting on our videos too. Yes, I've had coffee today. I've had coffee twice, and I've had a glass of wine as well. So yeah, feeling good tonight. We'll see how it goes as the night goes on.
As long as you don't wear your cranky glasses, isn't it? Because then
maybe I should.
The cranky version of you comes out.
I can see Riz very clearly in the comments too, so I think it'll be okay. Hello, Eviaz. Hello, John from England. Hello.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Great FSD vid, says Aaron. Yes, it's been fun, actually, driving in Sydney. Hello, it's only Dale. I shouldn't say driving, supervising. Yes, Graham says, well, it'd be nice to see a bit of glamour and class. Welcome, Joy. 100%. Yes, Matthew says, technically, Joy was driven by FSD, supervised more than Tom this week. That's true. She drove by herself on camera all the way. Well, supervised the car on camera all the way to Tesla Sydney to drop off the car. Dynamic duo. Yes, my better half is with me tonight. Hello, Jean from Southwest Sydney. Hello, Grandpa. Nice to see you. And hello, Charles. Good evening, Tom and Joy. Great FSD content. Thank you very much. So again, apologies. Well, should we say apologies? Just the warning that tonight is going to be quite Tesla heavy. So understandable given what happened over the weekend. But we will try to do some other non-Tesla news as well. So stay tuned for that. Hello, Jez. Hello, Sir Necromancer. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us nice and
Florida.
early. I know. Kevin always joins us from Florida. I take him for granted, but yeah,
okay.
thanks,
I was
Kevin,
say,
for joining
that's
us.
really far away.
Oh, hello, EV Australia. Hello, Adam. I know Adam very well. Hello, TT and Joy. Nice to see you there. And hello, Gary from Kavoka. Kavoka, referring to Kia EV Owners Club of Australia. Hello, Gary. Nice to see you. Hal says, I still have kids at home. I'm always cranky. Oh, maybe you need some coffee too, Hal. Riz, how have you been, by the way? You been all right?
Yeah, just, usual, doing what I can, getting those Bonza points up. Yeah, so many different climates. So I was in Victoria early on. It was sort of freezing down at the Mornington Peninsula, and then come into sunny Sydney, and it's all beautiful. And some exciting things to share in the coming sort of, hopefully on the next episode. But lots for us to chat about today.
Yeah, I think you've caught us on a good week. It was very wet last week, a week before, but yep, Sydney's finally cleared up to promise blue skies. Well, let's kick off with the first bit of non-Tesla news tonight. Well, it still has Tesla in the headline, but from The Driven it says BYD overtakes Tesla as Australian EV sales reach 9.7% in August. Riz, I think we chatted off camera. That's not quite a record, but it comes pretty close.
Yeah, we're getting close to the sort of 10% mark on a pretty regular basis, which is getting better. I think June was great, over 10%. July was a bit of a lull, but I think things are really starting to pick up pace. I know we'll probably talk about it later in the show. Amount of discounting that's going on. It's like end of financial year every month now. It's not just June, so lots for us to sort of see. And the Chinese brands across the automotive industry are really starting to amp up a bit with BYD, Cherry, MG, and I think one more. Four brands were in the top 10 um, top selling sort of brands in the country in August. This is across EVs and ICE market, but the Chinese brands are really starting to ramp that up. And we're now seeing that in sort of the sales charts as well. Even if we look a bit closely at the EVs, the Model Y, top selling car, BYD, Line 7, Seal. Good to see Seal back up there as a sedan. I think Tom, you giving it the publicity with the blue calipers, it's really sparked up interest in that car. The Model 3 is not a bad month, but obviously there's a lot of incentives on from Tesla. And then Atto 3 and Dolphin. So Dolphin, good to see Australia's cheapest car, electric car. That's finally getting some sales. And interestingly, MG4 didn't even make it the top 10. So that I think only got just over 104 sales or something like that. So I'm not sure if that's a supply issue or whether people are getting a bit scared by the price that's being put out there. Because it's gone back. I think the base model is like $36,000 or $37,000 drive away. So interesting things, but yeah, I think it's good the type of movement we're seeing in the market. And one last little point, plug-in hybrid sales saw second or third month in a row declining. We just hit just under 4,000 vehicles were plug-in hybrids, and I'm pretty sure a considerable amount of them were the Shark and the Sea Lion 6.
Yeah, I mean, understandable given the infringement benefit tax discount has ended across Australia, so that sort of makes sense. Yeah, people follow where the money goes, and or rather lack of money, given the discounting that's happened. And good to see BYD Atto 3 making a comeback, and Dolphin as well, like you said, and Seal, of course, just got a sentimental place in my heart there, having owned a Seal. But yeah, Geely's doing strong, as you said. Kia's doing good as well. EV5, EV3, seeing them a lot around Sydney. And look, a European brand. There we go, ID4. Selling some numbers there last month. And EQE, I think, thanks to some pretty heavy discounting, Riz, from what we saw last month. A lot of, was it 25 grand or possibly more off the price?
We're giving them away. So anyone that's interested, check out your local Mercedes. I forgot what they call them. The retail outlet.
Yeah.
They don't call them dealers. They call them something else. So
no, agency model now, isn't it? Mercedes?
Yeah, more upmarket.
Yeah.
It has to be a fancier name because it's Mercedes. You can't call it a dealership.
No, it's very crass. No. Yeah, and as people mentioned in the chat, if Xpeng actually bothered to report, then we might actually have seen this go over 10%, right, Riz?
Well, there's Xpeng, there's Smart. I think they're the two main brands that are not. I mean, Smart, unlikely with those two models to be doing huge volumes, but yes, we would be getting closer to that sort of 10% mark, even if it's 9.9. We'll take it.
Exactly. Yeah, not seeing any Leap Motor or Deepal either, which is a shame.
Yeah, Deepal, from memory, I think Leap Motor and Deepal, both of them were under 50 cars delivered or sold in August.
Okay. All right, well, that's good. I mean, these are pretty healthy numbers, right? 10% is something we can bank on, hopefully in coming months and beyond as well. That's good. And good to see, Tesla Model Y delivering as well in the last month, and Model 3s hanging in there, I guess. I don't know. As we discussed last week, Riz, with the advent of FSD and testing this week, I wonder whether that will spur people on to buy new cars. Or at least, we might get people, buying the FSD package in preparation, especially in hardware for cars like the new Model Y and 3s.
Anything's possible. I think that people are. At least there's a bit of excitement around it. One thing I'm actually seeing, particularly in the Xpeng owners community, is a lot of talk about XNGP, their equivalent of full self-driving supervised. Is it coming? Is it going to be an announcement in Munich, where Xpeng is supposed to reveal or at least showcase a couple of their latest products in the European market? So if nothing else, at least it's really starting to have that conversation. That is that where everything is heading. And obviously people have been watching your and Joy's videos as well on what the whole FSD supervised looks like in our market, and people are getting excited. So positive.
Yeah, speaking of this Xpeng announcement on the 8th of September, so next week, He Xiaopeng, who we saw on stage in Hong Kong earlier this year, sharing what's next for Europe in smart mobility, AI, self-driving. So yeah, we saw Tesla's FSD in action over the weekend in Australia, got to see it on local roads, but would also love to test Xpeng XNGP on Sydney roads just to compare and contrast, eh?
Especially because, they do their own internal AI as well, isn't it? So it's all in-house.
Yep. Tianqi, something like that. It's the large language model. I forgot the name.
I won't dare try and pronounce that.
Someone can correct me.
Well, as you said, Tom, that we had the, we saw what He Xiaopeng had to say at the brand night in April in Hong Kong. And, I was end of July, I was in Guangzhou. Xpeng were that one day that I was there, they were kind enough to take me to a delivery center and sort of showcase unofficially what XNGP can do on real roads. I was impressed. Obviously, I haven't had the same experience that, yourself and Joy have had with FSD supervised yet. But looking at the videos and the content and all of that, it's what they can do in Guangzhou is pretty impressive, given there's so many other things they've got to navigate over there with, a lot of the bikes and trucks parked in random spots and a whole lot of things. And they did that pretty well in the demo they showed on real roads. It would be great to have it being driven by yourself and, tested on the streets of Sydney.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last year Tesla advertise, full self-driving drivers, right? Just to train the model around New South Wales, Victoria, all over Australia. So I wonder whether there's some secret testing Xpeng will be doing in the next few weeks to months or whatever to train their AI as well in preparation for this. So yeah, very interesting. Can't wait to see it. Let's take some comments because we will be actually doing a Q&A. In fact, let's do it now. Let's do a Q&A for the FSD. So fire off with your questions, guys. We might put this in the background just to remind you what we did. So we were lucky enough to get FSD supervised 13.2.9 on Sydney roads over the weekend, thanks to Tesla Australia. So yeah, it was great to see. Really, I don't know, it was mind-blowing in some respects. Not perfect, mind you, but I think Joy and I, from Nervous Nellies on Fridays, we were pretty much convinced almost on Monday that it'll be good to see other testers as well. Checking it out and verifying what we found as well. So yeah, let's take some comments. Fire off your questions, guys. We will answer some questions. Here we go. So we'll take some comments too. So Lewis says FSD videos were great. I'll still vote for the horn blast though. Aaron says all the FSD videos seem to show FSD driving under the speed limit consistently. Joy, you want to comment on that?
I think it's probably just because it's in early testing at the moment, and they would rather everyone just go under. I think they've, if there's like a setting for 100%, I think they've just forced everyone to be like 80% just in case, just for safety reasons. Because I know for me anyway, my concern with supervising the car is that normally when you react to something, you can just react to something straight away. But I have to wait for the car to react or react incorrectly before I intervene. So it's like, car interact, then I react to the car reacting, if that makes sense. So it's like an extra step. So I think that's why they kind of slow everything down. Because I would never worry about reacting to something that happens, but I have to wait for the car to do something wrong and then react to the car doing something wrong. So sometimes I would preempt that. I call the first incident that I had with the bus trying to turn into, like, because it was straddling two lanes, which it has every right to do because it's wanting to turn left. I wasn't sure if the car was going to try and sneak into what maybe looked like an empty lane for the car. But in retrospect, I know that that's probably just me being nervous Nelly. And I think, like, if I could do that one again, definitely I would have just let the car do its thing. You know what I mean? That's a learning point for me. And also the fact that someone noticed that I had my foot on the brake, which is why it didn't go off again. That's actually, yeah, again, that's like a FSD rookie error. And like, I think, yeah, I wouldn't make that type of mistake if I was sort of using this more consistently. But yeah, should I talk about the second one?
I'll just comment too that we were we were trying our best not to intervene, right? So we were on camera, obviously. We wanted to create content, and feedback from US viewers on our on our stream, on our videos, saying, look, just let it go. So we tried to let it go as much as we can, just let the AI do its thing. So that's why sometimes you see odd things like that. And also the software, someone said in the comments, the software that this is running on is different to the US. That they're a little bit ahead. Also, we didn't have the choice of hurry, chill, or standard, so we just had whatever they gave us. It's probably somewhere between chill and standard, just because it's the first release in Australia. So just to answer that comment, yes, go ahead and talk about your second incident.
Okay, the second one. So I watched the replay, and just to make sure that what I thought was happening in my head was actually what was happening. So many times when I can see that, okay, I think something might happen, you'll see me kind of like do this to, like, I may or may not grab the steering wheel, like, the man and his dog, or like, pedestrians looking like they're going to cross. So I'll do that, but I won't actually do anything. I'll just sort of like wait to react. And so I did not actually stop for that vehicle until I saw wheels were moving and it was coming out. So if you go back, you can go back and look at it, super slow-mo, wheels move before I actually press the brake. So yeah, I don't know. Look, that one, I would absolutely do it again. Like, I was just waiting for, if the car hadn't sort of started moving, I would have let the car sail through the intersection, because I do have right of way. That car has actually stopped, and I'm the one that's moving. But as soon as I saw those wheels go, I'm like, I'm stopping, because I could see that whole like really awkward, interchange going on where that other car had stopped. And it was like, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. And I was like, I can see where this is going to go. So, yeah, I rolled up to that situation just as that was happening. So, but go back and watch it if you don't believe me. You'll see my foot hover over the brake, but I don't actually press it until I see the wheels move of the car coming out.
It's funny, some of the viewers from the US, and even some here, that's great to have their input, but sometimes it's you have to almost defend yourself, because any intervention you do, they get grumpy, or they question, why did you intervene, right? It's almost like you're not allowed to intervene on our tests. Just, look, I get it, right? You just want to let it go a little bit. Let's see what the computer does. But I think given we were only at this car for the first 48 to 72 hours, I think we tried our very best, right?
And honestly, like, when you're looking at on a screen, like, it looks like a simulation. Like, it's not as real if you're looking at it on a screen, but when you're actually sitting in the car and the car is moving and that's you, I think, most people would feel differently. And unless you drive Formula One cars for a living or something, and obviously that doesn't phase you at all, most, I think, normal people would react how we would have reacted.
I think so. I think we had some, obviously some extreme comments wanting us to push on. They said they wouldn't have done it, whatever. That's fine. I think most people probably would have felt what we did was quite reasonable. So hopefully you enjoyed our content. Question from Strolling Sydney. How would you react to emergency vehicles? Yeah, well, we sort of discussed that in our last part 6 video, so check that one out. When is the public release of FSD? I mean, I can say that it's not far away, okay? I'll just give you that. That's all I can say. That's what Tesla have hinted at in our discussions, so I don't think we have to wait too long. That's all I can say, okay? So I don't have the exact date for you guys, I just don't, but I don't think you guys have to wait too much longer. I don't know whether it's hardware 3 or 4, but yeah, I think it's going to be closer than you think. Gaffer says, I'm a hardware 3 FSD orphan, got it 5 years ago. Yeah, I'm feeling for you, Gaffer. A lot of people are like you. Think I'm owed it or hardware 4 upgrade till I get it. Yep, we'll see what happens.
Would you close your eyes from start to finish?
Great question. Would you close your eyes from start to finish?
Absolutely
Heck
not.
no.
No, 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 no.
No, it's supervised, okay? You can't supervise the car when it's when your eyes are shut. Good question from Mac. Was the amount of force required to disengage FSD more or less than autopilot? For me, it felt the same amount. Same. Brake it or turn the wheel, whatever. It's the same. Charles says, I believe Jason TechAU, shout out Jason if you're watching, did some testing and visited Melbourne. He mentioned hook turn, so we'll no doubt have some tram action. Good. Check out that hook turn action from Melbourne. Riz, hook turns in Melbourne. Would that be something you want to try out for yourself?
I'm more into the hood turns, because if you're in Toorak East like I am, which is a real hood, basically anything can happen on the streets. So you got to make sure the car is ready for that. But on a serious note, you know what? It's amazing at how much testing both of you had been able to do. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes people that are observing may think that you may not have had to intervene, but being in the situation, it's a very different thing. So, the environment, the surroundings, everything else, it's all too real. So, yeah, I think, Joy, you're spot on that, usually you'd react when something happens, but you're waiting for the car to do something, and then you're going to sort of see what you may need to do. It's, incredible at, all the different angles that you've covered your drives with, the different sort of roads, real world conditions, car parks, you name it. It's, some of the best testing. And obviously there's people like Jason, Nash and the Gong, a couple of others, Pete out in WA, doing their bits as well. It's just really great to see. And I think the rest of the world is pretty impressed, especially if you sort of look at the Tesla community, at the things that we're picking up here, such as kangaroos and other things that have been spotted in some of the videos that the car is able to react to. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, well done to you both and all the other content creators that have had a chance to play around with it. And, the system will only get better from here.
Yeah, good point, Riz. Yeah, I mean, with each drive that everyone does, it's retraining the AI and all the Teslas they've been driving on the roads. It's just adding to the algorithm, so it's fantastic. And we are the first right-hand drive market outside the North American continent to have this software. So we feel very honored to have been part of that initial testing group. So thank you again to Tesla for that.
I have a theory. The theory is that every time something happens in a right-hand drive market like ours, like when the first Tesla video started to pop out, the one in Melbourne with the hook turn, then there was one in Sydney, then there was one in New Zealand. Our friends in the UK got a little bit jealous, particularly the good people at the Tesla Owners Club of UK, for all the very right reasons. But the day when all this news sort of came out that Friday, around Tesla FSD and everything, that's all the testing or the showcase that they did in Australia, I think for the very same reason, just to make sure that our friends in the UK felt a bit more comforted by this dropping in Australia, they got the Model Y Performance, and they're getting other things that we're not getting. So I think we're a bit jealous of that. But in all, the testing that's coming out of Australia is it's amazing, especially the kind of weather we've had. We've had some good weather.
Oh, we're so blessed. You know what's better than FSD, Riz? It's beating the POMs at something. So I'm so happy that we got it before the UK. So no apologies at all from that point of view.
There have to be some benefits to living upside down, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
As a former Tesla owner, has the FSD availability in Australia made an impression on your thoughts of the car? Yeah. I mean, I am impressed that this hardware is already in the existing cars right now. So, yeah, all it needs is a software update and money, obviously. But, yeah.
But I guess it's also knowing that there are a lot of other brands who are also working on their version of it. So it's not like it's like Tesla are the only ones. So it just makes me excited for just, EVs in general and technology in general rather than specifically Tesla.
Yeah, like we said earlier, happy to test XNGP. We know Geely's working on something too. So, yeah, should be good.
I've been in a car with Huawei's system. That system blew my mind. Like the street that we went down and how narrow it was, and people were coming towards you in the same lane that you're supposed to be in. That was back in April, and that was very impressive. But that system has LiDARs, so many cameras in a lot of the Huawei collaborative models that they're building in China, and XNGP, of course. But yeah, this is the first proper system that we've had in Australia. And yeah, from all the videos and everything, it just looks incredible.
Thank you to Sim for a $2 donation. Live, what do you call these? Forgot chat, something chat.
Super
Yeah,
chats.
someone tell me. Super chat, thank you.
Super
Super chat, yes. Chipping in for Joy's mic. Thank you very much. Add that to the kitty. What would you guys rate the software for safety, baseline autonomy, decision making, and smoothness of the drive? Okay, so you want to go?
Okay, so I was really impressed by how safe I felt myself in the car, but also I think it will handle pedestrians and animals and things like that really well. Now, I don't think we ever had sort of like, it never was really tested with like children height, so that's the only thing I can't comment on. But from what I've seen, every time it spotted anything that looked remotely like a human, it would pretty much slow down. Like I never felt that it did anything that would be dangerous towards like pedestrians on the street. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I felt fairly safe too. But having said that, there were a couple of times where it was a bit hairy, like as you might have seen in the first video with the keep left sign that was twisted the wrong way. For those who question whether that would have hit, it would have hit. Let me tell you that it was very close. I'm not sure the video conveys that, but if we hadn't intervened, that would have definitely hit. So
Now, if that had been a person though, I think it wouldn't have.
no,
Yeah. If you had recognized that as a person, it wouldn't have done that.
yeah, it's not a safety thing as such. I guess it's expensive. Have to pay the excess possibly, but it's not a safety thing. I think most humans around the area, apart from kids, which we didn't see any examples of, I think I was pretty confident that it wasn't going to
It just sounds
go anywhere near them.
like an example of a child.
No, let's not play with children's safety. 100%. Decision making. I think a lot of the decision making issues were with the nav, as people have said. The nav possibly confuses the AI. You know, I know I've got a basic understanding of how it works. It maps the area around, but then the nav gives it input as well. So, don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Does it need to develop its own nav, Tesla, or I don't know what it is. So, I'm not smart enough to answer that question. Smoothness of the drive, yeah, very smooth, 100%. Much smoother than I could have driven or Joy could have driven, I think.
Someone said, want to see what happens when you meet cars coming the other way. I think that was in the start of one of our videos.
That was during the night drive. I think something came towards us.
Oh, yes, that happened near Barangaroo, but there was also an incident, not an incident, as in like where you've got to wait and the other car comes and there's only space for one car to pass through at a time. That is in one of the videos.
True.
Can't remember which one now.
Adam says, definitely echo the slowness or hesitation to drive. Correct. Yes, it does tend to be a bit slow, but I think that's possibly because the software is it's probably not the same as the US. We get a modified version of that in Australia just for our first test, possibly.
And that's the thing though. I mean, you can press the accelerator, but then why are you in FSD? You might as well just drive. It actually keeps the speed way better in autopilot. So like I don't think I ever really press the accelerator in autopilot unless I'm overtaking like a big truck or something like that. But
I'd love to try it in hurry mode actually when it does drop. Thank you, Gaffer. $2 for the mic fund. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And what else can we? Thank you, Jason, watching. Coming soon is the official line. Yep, from Tesla. I agree. Can it direct you? See, we tried to indicate either left or right. Couldn't get it to change lanes. So that's the answer to that.
that was on the Harbour Bridge. It didn't change lanes.
Yeah, couldn't get it to change. I had to actually intervene to get out of the S lane on the far right.
Actually, one thing I did spot today, it was on one of the social media platforms. Maybe someone testing in WA, maybe it's Harold. Somebody was on a highway and it did overtake a car that was going slow in front of it, apparently.
Okay.
So it just did it on its own.
But Adam's saying also indicating changes lanes like Odyssey. All right, we couldn't get it to go. So thanks, Adam, for verifying that. Deal with any cyclists or bikes? Yes. I mean, motorcyclists zipped around us at one stage. No problem. Riz in the hood. Yep, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Tractors to Teslas. What Touareg become? Thank you, John. Amazing job, Tom and Joy. Thank you. I think there's a reality show in it. Yeah. Okay. Tom without coffee. Yeah, it's a different side of me. Also, you don't want to be the guy driving if the system fails and you don't take over. Yeah. Yeah, just be careful. It's still supervised at this stage. Thanks for your comments, guys and girls. Keep them coming. Wow. I have to dip through these. If you see anything, let me know. Yep, see how it goes in narrow streets like Marrickville? Yeah, absolutely. Lots of tight streets around inner city, like Newtown, King Street. That's an interesting one as well.
Well, remember Tesla did the thing in New Zealand that was pretty narrow. I don't know if it's as narrow as Marrickville, but yeah.
We did a little bit like that up in Warrawee, and it seemed to cope really well.
Joy's got a great radio voice. I agree. Thank you, Hal. Do you want to dip your toes into the vision versus LiDAR? Not really, because we haven't seen any LiDAR self-driving. So if someone wants to sponsor us to show that or test it, happy to do so. Yeah, Oz Tesla owner says there have been 4.2 billion miles driven by Tesla FSD. Did you get close to any kangaroos? Nope, we did not. Many people from the Tesla Motors Club forums here tonight. Hello, guys and girls. Thanks for watching. Yeah, Riz, someone says, Tony says Huawei and Harmony software will be interesting.
It's yeah. If the pace at which these softwares in all of these cars on FSD or something similar is how quickly it's getting better, it's incredible. Yeah, XNGP, Huawei's Harmony system, what we've got in FSD, and there's a lot of third parties also working on that sort of stuff. You know, the full self-driving suite or equivalent. BYD's God's Eye, I'm not sure in the top spec cars what's that supposed to be like. So yeah, really exciting stuff coming.
Yeah, George asks, did the car pick the wrong lane? That's why Joy went through Harbour Tunnel, Eastern Distributor, Zetland instead of Harbour Bridge, Western Distributor, Anzac, M8 to St. Peter's. Don't know. We had a video example of the car missing 3 off-ramps. So check that one out. It's called Bridges and Tunnels. We just let it go, right? It missed 3 off-ramps. So yeah, we felt like a tourist that day. So yeah, I'm sure. Look, it'll find a way eventually. It's just amusing to watch.
I mean, yeah, that's technically not the full self-driving fault. It's the navigation fault. That's what people kept saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the consumption like? I think from memory about 13s on the Model 3.
I'm not sure, but I reckon it would be better because it was so smooth, like ridiculously smooth. That's what happens when a computer drives you.
Yeah, Bernard says, yeah, I agree. Members of the American Tesla community who commented a lot on our videos. We've got a lot of Americans to watch, so thank you, Americans, and thank you for commenting. Very bullish about V14 being a robotaxi experience. Yeah, bring it down here. We'll test it and give you our thoughts for sure.
See, with the robotaxi, are you allowed to sit in the driver's seat so you can take over? Or no, you have to sit in...
No wheel, right, Riz? No steering wheel, I think, in the
Now,
robotaxis.
the robotaxis do have one. The supervisor is sitting, I believe, in the passenger side, and then you're supposed to sit at the back. So,
Okay.
I would kind of feel safer if I can take over. But then
Yeah.
again, I think like now it's like, well, I'll just get into an Uber and I have absolutely no control of the person driving it. And I don't know them at all.
For science, should we try and take over the Uber driver's steering wheel, see what happens?
oh, gee.
That would get you banned, I think, for life. Jason says, seems to be going slow in the middle lane right now on the screen. Yeah, that was quite a funny moment. All the cars zipping around us. We just let it go. Didn't press the accelerator pedal.
This was the Sunday one though, right?
yeah.
So that's why I was like, I'm not worried. It's a Sunday. People aren't going to beep us.
Donald says, I showed my wife one of your videos and she wants a Tesla for our next vehicle now. Okay. Did Tesla self-insure the loan vehicles? I'll be honest, I don't remember. Oh, look, I did read the loan things.
Still on us, isn't it?
It's probably still on us. I mean,
Supervised
Supervised.
insurance claim.
right. Someone said we might have gone through, well, the car might have gone through a red light, a speed camera in the tunnel. So if we get a speeding ticket, we will make a video out of that. So stay tuned.
Actually, the one where I was supervising it back, I did use the scrolly wheel as suggested, and it did go from like 65 down to 60. So I did actually manage to successfully use the scrolling wheel and not sort of disengage autopilot. So I count that as a win for me.
Here's a great question. This comes back to my EQ awareness issue with the car, whether AI can recognize that, turn it into a large language model. Do you think it will stop the lollipop people, right? Because it does slow to a pedestrian crossing, yes. But what if that lollipop lady is looking at you, or person is looking at you and wanting to come out with their stick? Would the car recognize that? That's a tough one, right?
I've
Yeah.
seen it do hand gesture observations and make decisions on that based on some of the videos coming out of China.
Yeah,
So I think it should be able to do that, but of course, we need to test, and every market's different.
yep, exactly.
Mm.
I mean, sorry, go
No,
on.
I was just gonna say I don't know whether it's the same person or just people keep saying I want like how it can do oncoming cars in a restricted street. Um, it is not an issue at all. Like we've done that a few times in the videos. It absolutely doesn't seem to have problems with that at all. Like
Mm,
that doesn't seem to be what its weak spot is, I would say.
mm. No, it
Yeah.
does that very well. The weak spot is definitely navigation and forks at the moment, and just very tight off ramps. So that'll improve, I think, with time,
But
surely.
if everyone's going slowly and it's like a really narrow bit and it's like only I get to go or the oncoming car gets to go and then you have to wait for the oncoming car or kind of like scooch a little bit out of the way. It actually does that all really well. Yeah.
It does exercise caution though, so it'll probably let more people go than not, which is probably okay. I think I don't mind that. Yeah, this is a good question. One worth pondering. If two FSD cars show up, who gives way? Have you seen those reels on Instagram where you've got ChatGPT talking to ChatGPT? It's like a phone conversation. Like, no, you hang up. No, thanks very much, and no, you have a good day. And it just keeps going and going. So I wonder what happens when two FSD cars do sort of meet like that. I don't know.
Maybe
We've
like
seen what.
micro.
No, sorry,
Sorry.
you go, Joy.
I was just going to say, I mean, they
Just like
can
that.
probably work out microscopically who technically got there first.
Yeah, we've seen the Waymo videos, right? The in car parks, they're honking at each other and they're going
Oh
around in
yeah,
circles. So that's what could happen.
that's right. How does it handle keep clear? Okay, well, there's an example of this in this video later on when we get back through Mossman. There's a massive keep clear area in front of a fire station. I think it saw it. You see the reverse chevrons on the screen, so it slowed right down to the line. And then we intervened because we weren't sure what was happening, but it probably would have stopped for that massive keep clear area.
The other thing about it is that we worked out that it's quite a late indicator in general. So, and in this particular situation, it was indicating way earlier than it normally would if it was turning right for up at the junction. So we weren't sure whether it was like, are you indicating for the top of the junction and you're keeping clear, or are you trying to turn into a building? So look, on the spot, we're like, you know what? I don't really want to see this turn into a building, so I'm just gonna, be on the safe side and just cancel it.
It is supervised after all. There was one thing I wanted to show you. Okay, so Joy, this is for Joy because she drove in peak hour traffic on Monday. Did you feel we were being tailgated at all?
Generally, not too bad. I think I was fearing it more than it actually happened. I think I was actually really pleased that I got stuck behind a massive truck going down into, down the Warringah Freeway and into the tunnel, because it gave me the perfect excuse to be going slowly and would have allowed every car that was flying past me, to have a good laugh at the red Tesla that was stuck behind the giant truck. So I was actually really glad for that giant truck because it gave me an excuse to be going so slow.
I saw that actually. Yep. Yeah, here we go. Lewis says the Brisbane launch video from the media crew that went to Brisbane last week. People showed a keep clear. That area is near my house and it dealt with it really well. That's good. Yep. Probably better than most people who queue across intersections and keep clears actually. Would you use FSD in daily city driving though? Right now, probably not personally. I feel more stressed driving it. Someone made a good comment on one of our videos. They said it makes bad drivers better, but it makes good drivers worse. So it sort of levels the playing field like that. I thought that was quite a good comment. And I don't think I'm an excellent driver, but I like to think I'm a decent driver. And I think it makes me worse at the moment because I'm stressed and they're taking lanes and going slower than I would personally. This is on this software version, but we'll see what it's like, obviously, with each update. What about you? Did you feel like you were worse?
I think it's not that I was worse, but I know obviously in the areas that I was more familiar with, I was more like critical of it in the sense it's like, this is not how I would have driven, you know, and I would have done this differently because obviously I know the kind of like the optimal way of driving those areas. But once I was over the bridge, or rather under the bridge through the tunnel, and you know, in areas that I don't drive as often, I was actually in some ways just like, you know what, I'll just let the car do its thing. And then I could kind of like just enjoy the magic a bit more because it was like, wow, the car is driving and I have no idea where it's going. And I'm just trusting the car to get to where it's going to go. So, yeah.
Yeah, it does feel magical, I must admit. It's, you know, it works most of the time. 99% of the time, it works every time. So that's a comment from...
There's
okay.
another movie reference. Yep. Yes.
No, it is pretty good.
That's the thing. And I'm always like, no, I choose not to like get that reference, even though I do. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to pretend like I didn't hear you say that.
Would FSD recognize flashing lights at a rail crossing?
I reckon it would.
It probably would.
Yes, yes.
It did try to stop on the Sydney light rail tracks, though, at night time for us, which I had to move
And again,
for it.
it's like, would FSD recognize flashing lights at a rail level crossing? Probably yes, but would I have already pressed the brake anyway? Probably yes as well.
Here's a good question, actually. I thought about this yesterday when I was walking the dog. Does FSD lose any features when all network connection is lost, e.g. in a tunnel or very rural areas? I mean, I know it's mapping the roads around it as it happens on the FSD computer, right? So I don't think it does. Navigation, you might lose that. That's an issue.
We saw it happen when we went through the M whatever tunnel. I never know the numbers, but the navigation definitely was lost. It thought we were probably, you know, like about 20 meters to the left of where we were, but the visualization on the screen showed that it knew. I think I said something like, it still knows we're in a tunnel shape, so it's still going to keep going forward. And I think that fits with what other people have said about how if you plonk it in a place that's completely new, it's just doing its live mapping and it'll just keep going round, you know, taking left, taking right, going in circles, and we'll just continue driving until it runs out of battery, even if you don't put any navigation in. So I think it would actually be okay in that situation. It doesn't need the navigation and it doesn't need a network connection, which is reassuring to know.
It's fascinating. Check this out, Riz. Harold Murphy is going to do a lap of FSD in 2 weeks. Lap of Australia on FSD. That would be awesome. Hopefully, you can document that all for us.
That is pretty cool. I've seen videos out of China where it's rural China. There's no lane markings. There's random things on the road, and the car's just doing its thing. So, as you guys said, it's based on localized what it can see. And I think if the navigation is confusing it at the moment in some situations like tunnels and exits, you know, maybe the next version is a little bit better. But that's the big thing. It's improving so quickly. The more data they get, the better it is. They know what the car is supposed to do at that time. It can only get better, which is, you know, all of those things. This is just such an awesome preview of what's to come.
It's a challenge for Jason, for Adam watching, for Nash, for Harold. Because we don't have the car anymore, so we can't do this. 2-thumb reset when you're driving on FSD. Does it stay on FSD? Here's a nice little short for you guys to try. All right, well, look, we might take a break from the Q&A. Keep those questions coming. We'll just keep monitoring it. But let's push on with some more content. Riz talked about this a bit earlier in the show. Tesla Model Y performance launching in Europe, 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds. Apart from going faster, Riz, and I should say too, Roland sends his apologies tonight. He had had to work late tonight too, but he would love to have been here to talk about the Model Y performance. But Riz, fill us in. What did you learn from the Europe launch?
Top spec car, you know, performance, faster, more range, which is good. It's got, I think, the slightly bigger battery in it. The production has already started in Giga Berlin, so it's being produced in Berlin. I didn't know they were shipping cars in right-hand drive to the UK because it's available in the UK market. So yeah, quite interesting. I think it looks cooler. there's a photo floating around on X of the old versus new. I think it definitely looks pretty mean. I like the new wheels. Roland, we did ask before the show that if he had any comments, and I think he said it could be faster. So you know, uh, basically Roland is like OnePlus, never settle. So he wants top spec stuff coming out.
He's never satisfied, is he, Roland?
Isn't
No, he
that
wants more faster.
it's pretty cool. Sales wise, hard to tell. Actually, one interesting thing is it's got the upgraded seats like the Model 3 Performance. It's also got the 16-inch larger display that comes from the recently launched Model Y L, which is a six-seater in China. So a couple of those things have already been carried over. So it could give a bit of a hint that Tesla really is going to be upgrading the screens in Model 3s and Model Ys to something I think it's got higher definition, slightly bigger, um, and potentially doing a little bit more work on seat comfort in some of the models. So yeah, all in all, it's good. It's got adaptive dampers that first appeared in the Model 3 Performance. So this will be the first Model Y to have that. What was really sort of incredible about those things is that even though it's a performance car with, you know, uh, low profile tires, which can be very bumpy and shaky on the road, it, drives as well as some of the standard range cars. In the Model 3 Performance, you sort of feel like it's like a normal Model 3. But then when you sort of push it a bit, you can see it stiffens up. It's actually a lot better on the road, handles better, faster. So if that's what they've done with this Model Y as well, it's expected. Obviously, we're waiting for it to hit Australia so that Tom, Joy can get tested, Roland can make sure that how do we get more performance out of this. So yeah, looking forward to it. Possibly late Q4 if it does come to our market.
Well, again, a little birdie has told me that it might be sooner than that, Riz. So I think we should
Maybe.
watch this space very soon. Tesla's been very friendly to me this week, but yeah, I think we might be getting a surprise as well. But here's a philosophical question for you and Joy. Given FSD, if you listen to the FSD crowd, they want everyone to use FSD. What is the point of a performance car anymore if you can't drive your own car fast around the streets? If you're sitting there driving slowly on FSD, do we need these cars anymore?
Joy, your
Just
thoughts?
a thought.
Look, I mean, obviously my first Tesla was the performance Model 3, and I do miss the fact that it could just go so ridiculously fast. But when did I ever really get to use it? Because I, as you know, am relatively cautious. So I won't like zip off at the traffic light because I still actually wait to make sure that someone else isn't trying to beat a red light and I'm going to just, get T-boned. So I won't be the one that's like I have to actually factor in the fact that the car was so fast and then kind of like count, now go, you know what I mean? Which is kind of like, it's kind of like wasting the performance aspect of the car. So
Yeah, we are waiting on full self-hooning, says Gaffer. Yeah, I mean, apparently FSD is good for all situations, so we never have to take off FSD if you listen to the right people. So what do we do with these cars? We can't use them anymore. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here, so just maybe start a new channel, this FSD philosophy. Let's push on. And Riz, you attended a launch this week as well?
Yes, yesterday, Nissan Ariya. Can't say too much about how it drives, but it was a nice drive from north of Melbourne, Tullamarine, down to the Mornington Peninsula, Cape Shank. Nice driving roads, and all in all, I think in about a week's time we'll know more. But yeah, specs wise, it's looking good. 22 kilowatt AC in some of the higher end models, 100 and I think 30 kilowatt DC charging. Apparently, it's got a pretty flat charging curve. So I think 10 to 80% in just over 30 minutes. And yeah, sorry I can't share too much on the
No,
driving front, but the car looks good. You can see it
looks
in the
good.
photos, and yeah, lots of space on the inside, which you
Yeah.
can see in the photos as well.
I'm great. I'm glad you were able to attend, Briz. I'd have to send my apologies to Nissan. We did get the invite, but just life admin beckons. But yeah, looking forward to the loan of this car in a few weeks' time to test it in Sydney as well. So yeah, great to see Nissan back in the game, and yeah, looking forward to hearing about the drive impressions, Riz, when the embargo drops. Let's push on. So speaking of Roland, here he is. Roland, the hills are alive. The Hills district gets its first Tesla Supercharger in Borkham Hills, New South Wales. That's great. The Hills area is a massive area in Sydney. And look, to be fair, most people in the Hills have a huge block of land and a huge house anyway. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to put too many DC chargers. But hey, good to see a DC charger here.
Does Tom always throw that many like song references and movie quotes in his like live
I
stream?
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, which ones?
But but look back to the news at hand. We've got time of use charging. So 40 cents between, what is it? These times are weird. It's like really fragmented. 11 o'clock to 4 a.m. If you want a cheap charge, go to Borkham Hills. For
9 a.m.
40 cents is incredible. That's almost cheaper than Amber sometimes. It's pretty good. Even Peak is 64 cents, so it's not too bad actually.
This is the part that I don't understand. There's a lot of people in our EV community that say Tesla superchargers, avoid them at all costs. They are the cheapest chargers you can sort of find for DC charging that's reliable, even if you're driving a non-Tesla. You look at what EV Networks, ChargeFox, and everyone else is charging these days. Tesla's still up there, and like in terms of how low, especially if it's time of day like this, 12 a.m. so midnight, no, 11 p.m. to 9 a.m. 40 cents a kilowatt hour for Teslas, and obviously a bit more or pay $10 a month and you get, the same pricing. I don't know if this one's open to non-Teslas or not, but it's good to see that they're coming up in quite a few locations.
Yeah, I mean it's worth almost driving up there to and to say hello to Roland. And to get a cheap charge as well.
Is 4 enough though?
That's the thing we were discussing. I mean, most people up there have a house and land, and off-street parking and off-street charging. So I think 4's probably reasonable. It's not really on the way to anywhere. I'm sorry, Hills District residents, but it's not. It's like the northwest of Sydney. I mean, it's kind of in its own little pocket, right? It's
Well,
like it's
I'm
on
in
the
the
way.
hills now, so
You are.
I'm
Okay.
in the hills now. So all I can say is any charging anywhere is welcome. But yes, there seems to everything's a bit bigger out here.
Great risk. Climb every mountain. That's right. Shift worker pricing, 100%. Imagine that. Doing a night shift, come back and charge. Fantastic.
Uber drivers, right?
Uber drivers.
Taxis.
It's good. Yeah, pretty close to the M7. That's true, Richard. It is true. You could sort of. Well, is it though? Yeah, I suppose it is. It's off. This map is not to scale. Well, first of all, it's very much zoomed in. Sydney's massive. Okay, like that's a massive detour from the M7. Let me just say. But if you want, yeah, for a cheap charge, go for it. Yeah, Norwest Business Park. Yep. Yeah, Sig Energy 25 kilowatt DC charger doesn't work bidirectionally with Tesla. Apparently, Teslas can do V2G. That's what Amber told us as well recently. So, confirm that someone. All right, let's push on. Now, this is something shared by one of our viewers. This is an Ampcharge coming to. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, so much has happened this week. Let's see. Go back to my notes here. This is in Broadway. Thanks to Zofa, one of our viewers. I think he's in the stream right now. So Ampcharge opening in Broadway in the shopping centre. It's good to see Ampcharge rolling out chargers. And oh, look, Richard says Goldberg Supercharger was full this week. 20 stalls. That's amazing. 20 stalls and full. That's great. Thanks, Zofa. Broadway Shopping Centre. Thank you very much. Where the other Tesla Superchargers are. Check this out. So this was spotted by our good friend Roscoe from Amazing EV. He sent this in to us. This is, anyone guess what this car is? Before I tell people what this
Roscoe asked me. I told him. And
Riz knows everything, though.
They might have seen it on your channel as well back in the day. But yeah, we'll confirm it.
Yeah, we'll give you a few seconds there. Maybe Joy can guess when you're. What do you reckon?
No, but I think I know where that is.
Where's that?
I think that's the junction up at King's Cross.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think so because I know Roscoe is from that area. So yeah, I think you're right. It's probably somewhere in the eastern suburbs. Yeah, we've got some guesses here.
Is it a Volvo? Yeah, I was going to say it looks like a Volvo.
Yeah, that's pretty probably pretty complimentary of that actually. Denza, MG. I've got the right answer here by the way. It is a Mazda 6E. Well done. Why not? It is a Mazda.
Because I've always wanted an electric Mazda.
You saw it in Shanghai at the auto shop.
No, but that looked like it was made out of clay.
Yeah, that's true. That's a clay version. But this is now with the electric Mazda, the 6E, is actually in collaboration with Deepal. So this might look very familiar to you. This is essentially a Deepal SO7 rebadged as Mazda. So, yep, I think it'll be interesting to see what they price this as, Riz, if it does launch.
Well, I saw another story this week where the Mazda Australia, the executive is saying that, they're still evaluating and they will figure out once the evaluation period is over. It's going to the UK. It's going to a few European markets. Oh, yeah, it was this story by Tung that, it's going to, they're still evaluating the car.
I have to say, it looks nicer with all the camo.
So we've discussed this in the past. Should we have a camo wrap, right? Camo version.
Camo paint.
Just to confuse people. Yeah, look, I don't mind
Come on, how cool does that look with the camo?
I don't mind the SO7 look. So if it looks like that, yeah, I'm all for it. No, I don't want a chance to win. I'll just close that box. Okay. Nose is too long, inside is too small. Okay, that's the norm with Mazda new models.
But
Neil
hey,
says lots of
Kodo design. That's what this is about. This is nothing to do. It's not Chinese. It's got nothing to do with any of that. It's from the outside. If anyone's ever interested, have a look at this car. Just search on YouTube. I think it's Mazda 6E or something like that. Mazda's got an official video on this car with the designer. And he says I think it's all about the Japanese Kodo design. That's what this car is. Never once mentions what's underneath it, where's it from, what's going on, but it's full Japanese. So anyway, if it comes, I think it will be a good seller because at the moment, Mazda does not have any real electric models.
That's right. Happy to test it out, see if it drives pretty much the same as the Deepal SO7. Jason says for Joy, it doesn't show any dirt.
Yes, it's like public transport seats, isn't it? Yeah.
Sydney buses wrap. Or bird poop. Too funny. More spy shots. Okay, so this is from Oliver M, one of our regulars. Spotted the Skoda Enyaq facelift. Here it is from the back, 3/4. You take some good photos, Oliver. And some more spy shots looking into the cabin there. So it looks pretty good for a VW, essentially. Should be good. Looks, I don't know, looks almost wagonish, Riz.
Yeah.
Rather than SUV.
Slightly people moverish. Bit of a wonder if it's still on the same platform as some of the other VW cars with the rear drum brakes.
Oh yeah, the MEB platform.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of your old Subaru Outback.
Oh, I love that car. Reminiscing. That didn't have full self-driving. Yep. Yeah. That's the Skoda Enyaq, and also spotted this week by Roland, Volvo's next flagship ES90, 800-volt architecture, lots of range, SPA2 platform, 2 specs for Australia, single motor, and Roland spec ultra single motor. Not all drive though. 107 grand. Is that a 7-seater?
No, it'd be 5-seater. It's Volvo's large sedan. The ICE version is usually called the S90. So this is the ES90. And yeah, it's supposed to be pretty luxurious. So sort of probably like an Audi A6. That sort of size of a sedan. I mean, sedans don't sell too well in Australia. This, I believe, is a liftback, like a Model S. And yeah, you never know, it'd be Volvo quality.
Yeah. Hopefully the software is better than the EX90 we had, which didn't let us drive on autopilot and cruise control for a while. But yeah, Volvo's Scandinavian design, they look good. Yeah, good trusted brand. Yeah. Now, Riz, we went to the Smart launch, the global launch of the
Yes.
Smart hashtag 5. I'd love to see this, the Smart hashtag 2. Could this be a throwback to the 4.2s?
Never know. It's look, good friend Mark Rainford with Inside China Auto. He's got the scoop, apparently straight from Hangzhou, saying that they're potentially developing a city car. Will it ever come here? Don't know. We still haven't got the Seagull yet. So yeah, it's happening. What do you think, Tom and Joy? Small, tiny smarts once again.
Yeah, I mean, it just lends itself to an EV, right? The Smart 4.2. People, when I tell them that I've driven the Smart hashtag to a 3, is it 3? Yeah, Smart hashtag 3 and 1. They think it's immediately of the 4.2, like, oh, the little one. So it's already in people's heads. So why not just give them what they want? Be great for like in a city area, around Sydney and Melbourne.
I don't think there are enough small cars, but I think small cars also need to have small prices, because if it's a small car but it's the same price as like a family size SUV, people will be like, yeah, but for that price you can get a family size SUV. And I know not everybody wants a family size SUV, but I'm pretty sure for the people that want a smaller car, they would also want a smaller price to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they want it to be more, like a bit more premium.
Yep, good point. I mean, like, look at the Hyundai Insta, right? We loved it. I actually love that car, but for 40 grand, people were poo-pooing it on our videos. So Riz, question for you and for Joy. We've got the Smart hashtag 1, and now 2, and 3, and 5. Will China produce a Smart hashtag 4?
Oh,
Seems unlikely, right? Yeah, 4 is not a great number in Chinese
No.
culture, just for those who don't know. Smart hashtag 8. Now that would sell well, right? Yeah. Hopefully with a small price tag. Yeah, agree, Tassie EV. Affordability is key, 100%. Okay, and final article for tonight, just a PSA for BYD owners, seal upgrade. So check out your seals. They should be coming in hot. 1.4.1 for software update. It's just bug fixes, looks like. In fact, it's just a slash, I think. There you go. Feature optimizations and a slash for new features. So nothing. Look, I must admit, BYDs don't do their notes very well. We've seen Geely, tell owners an update's coming. We've seen Xpeng release, lots of notes as well. BYD, yeah, probably could do a better job, I think.
New features, a forward slash.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Yep. It doesn't look great, but that's all right. At least they get upgrades
Well, the
still.
previous screen, I did like how it said it was free. Like, it's good information.
Yeah. Oh, Jason asked, but has Tesla got a slash upgrade yet? No, that's right. This is the first time we've seen a slash upgrade. That's right. Yeah. The new BYD website is nice. Yeah, I guess it's been taken over, hasn't it, by BYD Automotive or BYD HQ. Cool. Okay. I know you say hashtag, but I read, yeah, I think they want us to call it hashtag for the smarts when we went to the launch. Just saying. Forward slash is key for moving forward. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Zeekr news from Daryl. Zeekr is calling pre-orders. They will get to book in a test drive in mid-September. Excellent. That's not far away. That's good. Yeah, should be fun. All right. So that is it for tonight, everyone. And thank you for joining us. It's been great to have Joy on the show. Thank you very much, Joy. And thank you also to Moose31. Thank you for the $5 happy chat. What's super chat?
Super chat.
Yeah, all chats are happy. Thanks for all your BYD Seal videos. Got a 2025 performance. Hey, congratulations. Ooh. Excellent. Thank you. And thank you, Riz, as well. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Anytime, Tom and Joy. It's good fun. Always lots to chat about. Obviously, we discussed quite a lot about the new technology that's possibly coming. And yeah, I think it's only going to get better from here.
That's the key, right? It should get better. I just want to see how much it gets better and what the uptake is over time. That'll be very interesting. Look, a lot of new features in cars always come to the the top tier luxury cars first, and then it filters down to everyone else, right? So will FSD be like that, where only a few select brands get it, and then sort of goes out to everyone eventually? So that's for us to comment and watch over the next few months to years, which will be very interesting, I think. Okay, well, thanks very much, everyone. And thank you, Riz. We'll see you tomorrow in the secret location, the location
That's
which
it.
must not be spoken. And we'll see you guys all same time next week, hopefully. We'll keep you posted. All right, thanks, everyone. Have a good night, and we shall see you then. Bye. See you later.